Hello everyone, I'm Alka Chaturvedi, an educator and a friend of yours. Do you find writing an analytical paragraph difficult? Is it an Herculean task for you? Is your brain washed out when you have to write? Are you feeling that anxiety? How do I write it? How do I score good in writing a paragraph? Here are the answers to all your questions. It's as simple. Look at this picture. The picture shows a child who is riding the bicycle. The data provided to us is Monday he rides for 30 minutes, Tuesday for 45 minutes, Saturday for 90 minutes, and Sunday no riding. Relax. Now the data that has been provided to us, we read the data. After reading, we are interpreting that data. Now what do I interpret out of this is the time for riding on Saturday is thrice the time that was on Monday. Or maybe the double the time that was on Tuesday. So the child rode the bicycle twice the time that was on Tuesday and thrice that was on Monday. This is my interpretation. But as compared to Saturday or Tuesday, on Sunday the child has learned no riding of the bicycle. And this is how we compare and contrast the data that is provided to us. Take another example. We see two girls standing in front of us. We interpret after looking at them and we decide over this girl is better than this girl. Why? It is your view or what you have interpreted. Maybe this girl who's better looking is fair in complexion, has got a good height, she's slim, thin, and what you may have viewed. Maybe her dress is more beautiful than the other one. In contrast, the other girl, while she talks, you can make out that she is much more smarter. She is straightforward. She's though dark, she has her own positive qualities. Compare and contrast. You read the data, you interpret the data, and you come down to a conclusion. And then you start writing your paragraph. It is as easy as that. Let's see. This is a pie chart. You all must have done the pie charts in your maths and all. Huh? So, this pie chart, it shows the expenditure of the family. And when we are reading this, we see the maximum amount of expenses have been made on either the food or child education. Yes, maybe the minimum expense has been for entertainment, that is 9%, whereas on the house rent it is double the entertainment, that is 18%. So now when we are going to read about this family, we can easily make it out that where are the maximum expenses being done. Medical has only 13% as compared to child education, that is 23%, or the food, that is 25%. So we are going to compare and contrast and write out a paragraph after the observations and with the evidences that we can find. Thus, we see that an analytical paragraph writing is a descriptive writing which is written on the basis of a chart, a graph, some data that has been given to us, maybe some clues that are there, maybe as I told the live picture or two girls standing, or maybe a table that's provided to us. We have to read the data that is given, and on the basis of reading and our own interpretations, we have to write down the paragraph. This paragraph has to be around 100 to 120 words. It should have the complete details. This question carries 5 marks in your class 10th, and one or out of the 2 analytical paragraphs writing have to be done. In an analytical paragraph, just like any other paragraph, it has the starting sentence or the opening sentence and a closing sentence. And in between the opening and the closing sentence is your transition. Transition is what? Moving here and there. जैसे कि we have heard कि in life, the birth and the death are the two ends, and in between the life is full of ups and downs. Yes, so that is how we can come up with the writing of the analytical paragraph. In the content part, between the topic sentence and the final sentence lies the real content, that is analysis of the paragraph. There you have to prove what you have said or written. How do we prove it? We give evidence. And how do we give the evidence? Is by writing a quotation in which could relate to it. Maybe summaries, maybe some examples or anecdotes, maybe some data or testimonials that could be fixed in. What is the proof that what you are saying? Okay, so that will also include the content, the data that has been provided to us. Now look at this. See, this is a line graph, we will say. Anna, what is it showing? On the x-axis, it shows the ears. On the y-axis, it shows the potatoes, the production of the potatoes in the simultaneous years. So we can say the above bar graph shows the production of potatoes from the year 2000 to 2060. In the year 2009, it was only 60, whereas it rose drastically to 75 in the year 2011, and then there was a steep fall and it came down to 45. So that is the way we are going to read it and describe the bar. Leisure activities. I'm just giving simple examples how easily it can be read out. Supposing this orange color shows over here the people who used their leisure time for jogging, whereas this color shows over here the people who were doing weightlifting. The reading here is 3%, whereas 9%. So 9% of the people did weightlifting, which was thrice the amount of people who were doing jogging in their leisure time. Maximum people did walking in their free time as compared to 4% people who did aerobics. I'm comparing and contrasting the data. And that is how we'll be writing our content part. For an introduction, the opening sentence which we say, very simply it can be written that above chart shows, above chart illustrates, the table suggests, this line graph shows us. The above information reflects on. The pie chart illustrates. These are certain simple opening sentences. Then describing the trends, the fall, high and the lows. We may say rapidly doubled. The growth skyrocketed. It has fluctuated between the years. There was a steep rise or there was a decline. It was stagnant in this year. So this way we can use these words to describe it. For describing the quantities, we use the ordinals and the cardinals. 1/3 of 1/4 of, almost 80%, almost the double. The lowest was this, the highest was this, in that way. Now look at this expenditure or incurred on a publishing a book. We have the paper cost, we have the transportation, the binding, the royalty, the promotion, the printing, all, and we can compare and contrast that where does the highest cost is incurred. For establishing a relationship of compare and contrast, we are going to use the conjunctions of comparison and contrast, like in contrast with, in comparison to, in the opposite case, on the other side, similarly, likewise, unlike, are certain words which could be used for compare and contrast. Coming down to the final sentence, the concluding sentence. Overall, we can see, in a nutshell, we conclude that for the striking changes have occurred. Therefore, and finally write the concluding date. This is again another bar graph that shows the depictions. Finally, coming down to just recapitulating the things. Remember, your paragraph has to be a single paragraph with a starting sentence and a concluding sentence. It should state the facts. The language should be simple and accurate. No need of writing a very high-fi language. Figures and quantities have to be used. Appropriate use of the same tense has to be made throughout the analytical paragraph. No personal observations are required because it's a factual paragraph, and it would be preferable if you could use the passive forms of the verbs in that. I hope you have understood and you are going to find this paragraph writing easy. Now last is a sample for you where you have a paragraph to be written. We have the topic sentence, we have the context, we have the evidence and the proof, and our analysis. Finally concluding it. Thank you so much. I hope you have understood how to write an analytical paragraph. If you have any queries, don't forget to write them to me, and don't you forget to subscribe my channel, like my channel, and share it with your friends and relatives. Thank you. Goodbye till my next video comes to your doorsteps. Thank you.